We may or may not include this. I don't need any more hate. Okay, we're going to start it now.
Picklehead Podcast.
We want to start by thanking our sponsor, Great Value.
Walmart brand water.
The cheapest water on the market.
Dude, if Walmart sponsored us, I'd be stoked.
Wow, could you imagine?
I'll take it.
I would probably we'd get a ton of money from Walmart.
Just like Shaq's shoes. So let's talk about basketball on a pickleball podcast.
Yeah.
So over the years, Shaq has always gotten made fun of for his shoes.
What are they, 22s or something?
No, I mean his brand of shoes.
Oh, it's because they're so cheap. They're cheap, right?
Yeah, they're just like cheap shoes, and people wouldn't want to wear them or whatever. But obviously they did, because his comeback was, look at how many millions of pairs of shoes I sold. And that was mainly through Walmart,
Really?
Yeah.
What
just
are they?
Millions and millions of pairs.
What are they called?
I don't know. They were called like the Shaquille's or the Shaqs. Somebody will tell us what they're called. But yeah, he made a ton of money doing that. But his point was, he also supported a lot of low-income people. They were able to have shoes to play in,
Shaq's legit, because everybody like treated him like he was dumb because he was a basketball player. But he has master's degree. He paid for all of his buddies to go to college with him, something along those lines. Dude's legit, though.
Still
understands his stuff.
Making a lot of money right now, and he's been retired for a long time.
I wonder how much he's worth. We look that up?
I'm sure a lot. Yeah,
I'm sure everybody's interested. All I know is I'm interested. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and then we'll jump into the subject of the week that
we're late on.
So let's see. Shaq.
I'm gonna guess 400 million
net worth. This one says approximately 300 million. So you're pretty close.
Only 100 million off. Crazy how much
money
that is.
One of the richest NBA players. This one says 500 million in 2024. So yeah, you're right there. This one says 400 exactly. You looked this up before.
Just imagine I knew we were talking about Shaq.
Yeah. How could you have known?
Anyways, yes, our sponsor, Great Value. Let's keep putting that out there. Maybe Great Value will sponsor us.
Yeah.
Is Great Value a thing?
Well, it's just made by
It is Walmart. Just Walmart.
So what is Walmart? Walton family?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Walton's in Kansas or something. Arkansas?
I don't know, but we're just going to reach out to Walmart every podcast.
Yeah, we're going to say
they're going to sponsor us.
We drink a Great Value water bottle every pod.
Yeah.
That we're together, which is no pods.
Yeah, which is none of them. But we are together today. And today, we're going to talk about why I think we're going to disagree on this one. Finally, something we're going to disagree on. Why I think pickleball should go to rally scoring only.
Okay.
Do we agree or disagree?
I'd say we disagree, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about watch versus play. Okay. So there's an argument to be made for why watching pickleball would be so much better rally scoring. We've seen it in MLP. It's a much faster game, and I think every point means a lot more. Mm-hmm. For example, well, let's stick with watching for just a second. I just know that for the casual watcher, I'm sure there's people that are watching us now that are casual pro pickleball watchers, and then there's others that are like diehards like you and me, like watching every second of it, see what we can learn, see how we could do better, or just exciting, hey, so-and-so's playing so-and-so, let's watch them play. But from a watch standpoint, for the casual guy or girl, I think it would be so much more exciting, and there'd be so many more views if it was just all rally scoring.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong at all.
And then also, for people that are new to pickleball, so not even just casual, but people just happen to say, what's pickleball TV? And then pop on there and start watching, and they're like, I don't understand these rules at all. Mm-hmm. At least they'd be able to understand the score. They're like, hey, those guys missed. These guys made it. They got a point. They did not. Mm-hmm. Because right now, if they're on there and they're seeing that and you're trying to explain this score to someone that's new, I mean, we've both been there in person trying to explain it to them. It's kind of rough.
It's a nightmare.
And it's like, wait, why are they serving twice? And then, wait, he only served once, and then she served once, and now they gave the ball over to them, and this guy has served 4 times in a row now.
Yeah.
And why isn't that person serving? It's just super confusing where it could just be rally scoring only. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. From a viewership standpoint, people are bots. They just don't get it. Like, I was the same. When I first came in, I was just like, what's the score?
Yeah.
Whose serve is it? And why are we saying 3 different numbers at the same time?
Especially when I first started, like you said, when I first started watching pickleball, I wasn't even focused on trying to figure out technique or anything like that. They wouldn't show the score, back then.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was all based on if there was a commentator and whether or not the commentator was saying the score every so often, because otherwise you'd just be completely lost.
Back in the day when that was actually the role of the commentator to tell us what the score was. And now we still have commentators doing that to this day.
Yeah.
As you can see, Ben Johns won the point there with a forehand smash. Or no, they won't even say as you can see. They think that we're listening like through the radio.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Ben hit a forehand smash, clipped the net. It's like, are we just speaking to the blind people?
Yeah, we don't need this.
It's the people that didn't wear eye protection. That's who he is talking to. Their retinas popped out. That's what it is.
Sore subject for a lot of people that are watching.
That's a sore subject.
So, from a watch standpoint,
I agree. From a watch standpoint, yes.
There should be
from
a lot more
playing
viewers.
standpoint, it's so much better. And here's why. As a player, when you're playing rally scoring, it's going to be 18-21 every single game.
Yeah, it's always close.
Which just sucks. I like it when it's like you can absolutely tell who is the better player. With rally scoring, you're going to get worse players winning all the time because you freeze, because of that freeze at 20.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, once you make it to 20, you have to serve to win the game. And then there's another freeze at 18, but I think they took that away.
That's gone. That's all it is just at 20.
It's 20. So if both teams get to 20, they're both frozen. You have to serve to win. And so everybody gets, it's 20-20. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of exciting, but not when it happens literally every single game. And there's no deciphering who is the better team. It's just literally coming down to a lot of the time luck is who pulls it out. And it's like, man, like the better team was this team, but the other team won, or the better team ends up winning. So playing that way isn't very fun because it's like, okay, it's going to be 21.
No more than like a 3-point spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the end of it.
So I don't like it from that viewpoint. Watching is pretty fun. And it's definitely a lot easier to understand. But rally side out scoring, there's like a for sure, okay, they definitely won and they definitely earned it because you have that disadvantage when you're serving where you're back and they're up.
Right.
That's what I really like about it is it's like the serve is a disadvantage, which I'm a big advocate of, the serve being a disadvantage. Even if you have a rocket for a serve, you still have to let that ball bounce. So since I'm an advocate for that in particular, I just don't like the whole tennis mentality. And I know this will piss a lot of people off, but I don't like how in tennis, I hate when I wait what feels like 15 minutes in between each point, and then it's just an ace.
Yeah.
An ace serve. And it's just like, all right, now we have to watch them pick their wedgie, bounce the ball 18 times, go through their little spiel, and now they're going to serve the ball again. It could be another ace, and I might fall asleep. And so I think pickleball feels that way with rally scoring. Honestly, I think it's very similar in that way to where, because there's no advantage either way until you get to 20. And it's like, okay, now you actually have to show that you're better than the other team by serving to win the point. So
what if we look at it from a different standpoint? So we're still from a playing standpoint, but from a different perspective, I should say. What if we look at it like, okay, we're playing doubles again, 2 points as far as playing. It will be a lot faster for one, but there's so much more on the line still for each point. I think, and this is my counter perspective, if it was rally scoring only for everyone, just across the board, amateur, pro, whatever, just all rally scoring all the time, I think the level would go up and people would learn to play more rally scoring, and then it would make more sense. You probably wouldn't see as many missed serves. You wouldn't see as many errors. Like when my team is serving, I'm always going for more because it's not rally scoring. I'm not necessarily losing the point.
You get a second
it's
serve.
Just going to be a side out or a second serve.
Right.
But I'm not losing an actual point. Whereas with rally scoring, it's so much more important. I think people will get more consistent over time if it was implemented everywhere.
Right.
But
I think that's a good point. I feel like that would be the only thing that would maybe sway me a little bit that way. Is it's like, okay, now the serve becomes so important that people aren't going for as much with it. And I'm not saying, I think that the serve, you should be able to go for a ton with it. I just don't want it to turn into where we're hitting overheads on the serve, basically.
Right.
Or hitting above our waist, which is what they were getting away with before the PPA did the below the iliac crest. Shout out to my doctors.
If you know, you know.
But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about.
Just the serve.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
serve.
it shouldn't be like an overhand or.
I want it to be as much of a weapon as possible that it can be, while still being hit beneath the belly button.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's fun, and it can only be so good at that point to where it's still a disadvantage to serve, which I like. You have to really earn those points when you're serving.
Yeah.
But rally scoring, if it went to rally scoring, I wouldn't be upset. I just think it's a little bit more boring for me personally to watch every single match go on all the way to 21 every single time. I just think it's personally a little bit boring because I'm just waiting. And when I do watch MLP, I'm always watching the recording, and I'll just fast forward it into where it's 18-18 every single game. Yeah. I'm not going to waste my time. Like, for me, I want to see the end result, while at the same time I want to see some good pickleball, and the good pickleball is going to be at the very end anyway.
The end. Yeah.
And so I want to see who won, and so I just fast forward to 18-18. So I see that as a big problem with rally scoring. I would imagine a lot of people do that because I do it, but I think it's boring watching in the beginning because you know where it's headed, where it's going to go. And rarely, every once in a while, it's like someone wins 21-13 or something like that. But you never see a game that's 21-2 or 3. It's just impossible.
They come back.
Yeah.
Especially with the freeze. So what is it challenging enough? Is it competitive enough if they were to bring that score down and say, hey, let's play to 15? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
or
think
you could
15's
still
the magic
say,
number.
let's play to 11, but win by 2 instead of this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that. I mean, my problem is if I show up to a tournament that I've paid for and we get into the first round, they're like, hey guys, it's one round to 15. I'm just like, I need that first game to get a feel for this team. But I want a 2 out of 3.
What if we still did 2 out of 3, but rally scoring
to 11
and only go to 11?
That's what I would like. Now, I don't know from a time standpoint how long that would take, but because I feel like the deciding game after the 2 out of 3, because you're getting to 21 points, right? When it's 11 plus 11. So let's say like they split games 1-1. You go into the third game, that's where all that extra time is going to come in that You're not having now. So I don't know what you do with the third game. I've never even thought about it, so I'm not even going to give ideas because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it to be 1 point. Like it's winner takes all right there.
Yeah.
But maybe for the third game, who knows? Do some type of, I don't know.
Something
a
else.
mini dream breaker.
Something. Yeah. But then with the dream breakers, you don't necessarily determine who's the better doubles player, you know. The Dream Breakers are super fun to watch. For anyone that doesn't know what a Dream Breaker is, that's where everyone on the court plays singles, and they each play 4 points, and they rotate to see who wins the match. And that only happens after it's a tie between the doubles matches. And that's, just MLP. But you could do a completely different format, rally scoring. Maybe you determine, hey, the first 2 games are to 8, win by 2, and then the final game, I don't know. You'd need to come up with something. But I do think the play would get even better and even more consistent over time. I don't think people would go for the serve as much because you're losing a point instead, but I could be wrong. I mean, in MLP, they still go for the serve. So.
Yeah, here's my idea. Okay, 21 divided by 3 is 7. I learned that in 4th grade.
It's funny.
Maybe it was 5th.
I didn't learn that until 9th grade. But public school.
Spencer was a little behind. So it's 7. So how about 2 out of 3 to 7? We could do, probably not win by 2. That'll take too long.
Win by 1, sure.
Win by 1. So first 2-7 is
that way
win.
Every point matters.
And then you're still at that same time because it's 21 points. I mean, it's obviously way more than 21. It could be however many. I don't know. 21 times 3, right?
Well,
21 times 2?
Times 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 21 times 2, maybe a little bit less.
14. Well, the most it could be is actually 28 times 2. Well, you couldn't get to 7-7 because it's win by 1.
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, 14.
So it'd be less. So it'd be less than that even.
Okay.
But still, I mean, regardless of what that number is, a lower number
7,
only win by 1.
7 win by 1. That's so fun. Let's get through MLP. Like, what I'm saying is we could get through it to where it's not an all-day thing. Because people, I don't know, can't allocate an entire day on a Monday to MLP.
And they don't.
But to where it's like, okay, guys, it's going to be 2 hours of pickleball. And it's not 2 hours for one team to play against each other type of thing. I don't know. I think it would go faster if it was 2 out of 3 to 7. Might be the same amount of time.
But should the third game be win by 2?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's lame-o.
Yeah.
Then it's just, okay, whoever gets lucky at
because it wouldn't
6,
matter
6.
as much first game. It's like, okay, I can handle the winning by 1 thing. Let's take them the next game. But then that third game has to be win by 2.
Maybe win by 1, but obviously you freeze. And you have to serve to win.
Still implement a freeze, yeah.
I would say implement the freeze,
which
but win by 1.
Almost like doing win by 2,
yeah,
in a way.
Anyways, not like this would ever happen based off of what we say. But I think that this would be a good idea to make it more entertaining so that people aren't just fast forwarding.
Yeah, because people have, considering the amount of people that watch pickleball versus the amount of people that play pickleball, like there's a huge discrepancy there.
Yeah.
There's a gigantic gap. You know, we think, okay, look, there's 20,000 people watching, on some of the higher days. There's 20,000 people watching pickleball. Or they put it live on Fox. That was the record the other day for PPA. I guess 500,000 people watched or something like that. But that's the most there's ever been.
Right.
And it just happened to be right during the right time. Man, lots of ideas are coming through my head. Like you said, then it doesn't have to be a full day thing either. People can't sit there and watch live all day. That's one thing that I hate about pickleball TV. I love that it's on there. I love that it's free, but you can only watch it live.
Yeah.
And nobody has time to sit there on a Thursday and watch it live all day either. So shorten it up. Okay, so another point, people have talked about having a shot clock to make it more exciting. Because like in basketball, you have a shot clock. You got to shoot it by a certain amount of time or you turn the ball over to the other team.
What does that mean, though?
Same idea.
How would it work?
So they're saying you implement, that you guys only have, say the shot clock is 20 seconds.
20 seconds to
So you serve the ball, and the point has to be ended by 20 seconds, or you turn it over. Right? You turn it over to the other team or you turn it over to your second server.
That's going to get people speeding up balls, so that's for sure.
Yeah, but I just don't think it will be pickleball anymore
Not at
if
all.
you do it that way. So this way with rally scoring, shorten the score.
So people were actually saying that shot clock. I thought that was your idea.
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, people have talked about that, implementing
It's the worst idea I've ever heard.
But I just think it sucks because you're just going to have dumb speed ups. It's like, 19 seconds. I wonder what they're going to do. Speed up the ball.
Well, the other team just lobs it.
Yeah. Something. They're like, okay, we'll get the ball back now because...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could put a lob in the air for 4 seconds. I don't know. If you send that thing out, it's like times out, and let's say it goes out.
Yeah, and then they get the ball back.
I don't know. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. I'm not kidding.
I mean, and maybe they have a better idea of how to implement it, but I just do not like the shot clock idea because it forces you to play your worst, not your best. If you want to see the best pickleball, I do think it should be rally scoring. I know you don't quite agree with that, but I don't think there should be a shot clock.
2-7, 2 out of 3. The first 2 games, let's say it splits. The first 2 games, there's no freeze either. It's just win by 1.
Win by 1.
No freeze.
Yeah.
That's it.
Someone could get hot right in the beginning, but it's like, okay, you got a second and a third game opportunity here. So who cares if someone got hot?
And it's like if you think about the stress meter during that for the players, from 0-0, the stress meter's up. Whereas with how rally scoring is now, it's like, okay, once it gets to 11-11, maybe some stress starts.
Yeah.
As at 11-11.
Not just the players, but also the viewers then too.
Yeah, exactly. The viewers before that is just,
okay, this matters. Who's going to get this first
exactly.
game?
Whereas how it is now, it's just fast forward, 18-18. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, and I've found myself doing that lately, which I'm disappointed in myself because I'm a picklehead and I like to watch every second of it, but I just have a hard time finding the time anymore. Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time.
Even if you're watching past, midnight and watching it recorded, it's just really hard to watch all that you want to watch.
2-hour matches.
Yeah.
Per match. And there's multiple matches. If you want to see all of them, you obviously have to see, you can only view grandstand court and what's it called?
Just grandstand court.
No, grandstand's the second court. Championship court. Yeah. You can only watch those 2 courts. And it's like if you were to watch both of those courts, that's way over a day of
it's watching. A lot
per day.
It's a ton. So. And you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, and then people wonder why. I mean, I'm not sure why they don't change it now. Do something because they wonder why people aren't watching on Championship Sunday. This might be an unpopular opinion because maybe some people like this, but I hate that they do best of 5 on Championship Sunday.
Way too long.
That is a long match.
I totally agree.
It's so long. It's like, I love watching pickleball, but that is just too long.
How fun was that, though? Championship Sunday, I loved that all those top players weren't there. It was so refreshing to see Tyler Leung and
Connor Garnett.
And speaking of Connor Garnett, Spencer had a prophecy, okay?
Well, what are we talking about right now?
I was like, okay, Jack Sock will make it to the finals here with Julian. The only problem is Julian's very on and off, so I don't know. How he'll do.
I forgot we talked about that.
He'll play. Julian will be the number 1 player in the world for 1 game, and then the next game he'll be literally number 26, 27, randomly.
Yeah, that's tough.
He's just on and off and up and down. And Jack's kind of the same way, so I didn't know how well they would do, but I thought for sure they would take out Leung and Garnett. And you told me, you're like, dude, Garnett's sneaky good, man. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, he is, but I just don't see them having a chance. And they freaking make it to Championship Sunday, which was sick, I thought. Super fun, and I knew when they were going against Alshon, and I'm surprised they got a game. It was 12-10.
Yeah, me too. They let that one go.
Though. Yeah, I was shocked. Thomas Wilson's...
That's their first time playing together, too.
Yeah.
But technically, it's Garnett's and Leung's first time playing together. So, but Wilson and Alshon were fun.
I love them as a team.
Forget
you didn't play with Riley.
Forget Riley, Thomas.
Yeah. Who's that guy it's the Riley... It's Riley's agent or whatever. What's his name?
I don't know.
Doesn't know what he's talking about. Whoever he is, doesn't know what he's talking about. Because he's always talking about how Matt ditched Riley. I mean, how Riley ditched Matt and how that was such a good thing and all this stuff. Yeah. And I don't know the guy personally, but obviously. But I just think it's so funny because Matt has made it to more finals, has gotten more medals, all this stuff since ditching Riley. Yeah. Anyways, we've talked about that before. But my point is, Alshon, incredible. You talked about it, I don't know, 16 podcasts ago, how much he's improved, how good he'll be. He'll be right up there, number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, at least within the top 3, within who knows how long. Thomas Wilson, I've said it hundreds of times, I feel like.
He's a
most
dominant,
athletic.
Yeah, he's a dominant player.
He's so freaking good.
You cannot put him with Riley because Riley can't play with anybody. Anyone who doesn't pay attention to pro pickleball, I'm sorry, but we're still talking about this for a minute. But with Riley, you cannot play with the guy. Male or female, you cannot play with him. Because if you miss a shot, Riley will be in your head. Your own teammate will be in your head, and he'll want to switch sides with you. Well, I could play both sides. And so he's like, no, now I'm playing on your left-hand side. And that really would mess with anyone's game. And then Thomas can't be a dominant player, and then he's worried about missing even one shot because then Riley will want to take over his spot over there. When Thomas needs to be the dominant guy, I think with him and Christian, it works out perfectly. And did you notice they weren't even stacking?
I loved it. I love that playing straight up, that they're both equally good on both sides.
Play both sides.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking that as well. I was like, Ben has set up this mentality in everybody and Colin, that it's left side players and right side players. But I feel like they're like breaking that to where it's get good at both sides, like how Travis Rettenmeyer said on podcast 2 that we had. For those of you that don't know, we used to have pros come on the podcast.
We haven't asked them for a while.
Well, no, podcast 2 was DJ, actually.
Okay.
Travis was 3.
I think was 3, yeah.
And then Federico was 4. Anyways, I won't keep going. So I don't remember. 5 actually was Brendan Long.
Oh, gosh. He's going to go through the list here. We haven't done that for a while. If any of you viewers want us to interview a pro, shoot us a comment what pro we should interview and why, because those are fun to do too. We just haven't reached out for a while. We probably should again. It's nice. They can bring new insights, even to your amateur game too. So it's really fun to have them on. They teach things that we don't too. So
every single pro that's come on, it's like 8 mind-blowing things that have made me so much better
that you haven't thought about.
Yeah.
So
you just get that in the pro level. Anyways, Thomas Wilson, I still think he's the most athletic. I think he's just behind Ben, but definitely number 2 in the world.
Yeah.
I still think Jack Sock will be number 1. Doubles, mixed and men's. I still think Jack Sock will be number 1 by the end of the year. That's what that dude said, by the way. Riley's agent, whatever his name is. He was saying, like, I think he's around in between 15 and 18.
Who?
On men's doubles. He was saying that about Jack Sock.
Oh, jeez.
Because he played with Julian and didn't make it to Championship Sunday without those top players there. And I'm
not a chance.
It's Julian.
Yeah.
When have you seen Julian in a Championship Sunday in the last year?
Yeah.
When have you seen him medal in the last year?
That's why MLP is more his thing.
Exactly. That's where it's been. It's been at MLP. That's what he's won. But anyways, that's what he said. I thought it was funny. And Thomas
I won't disagree with you. Jack Sock is not only fun to watch, he seems like he's got something new dialed in every tournament, and he's just a little bit better.
He listens to whatever the haters are saying and improves on it every single time. But Thomas Wilson, Christian Alshon, Jack Sock, those guys are the future. Jack's obviously getting older. So I say future, but it's like, 5 years.
Yeah.
Jack will dominate.
Depends on how long he wants to play, but
exactly 5 years. Who knows? Because you've got Matt Wright, who's still just incredible.
Yeah.
And he's what, 45?
I think he's 47.
Oh, he's 47.
That's what I heard. 47 years old.
I just can't imagine walking onto a court with a 47-year-old with my buddies that are my age, like 26,
and he dominates hands battles, fast hands battles, just dominates.
And he dominates against Travis Rettenmeyer. remember when Travis and Steve Deacon played together?
Yeah.
In that tournament? That was fantastic tournament. They made it to the semis or something like that. And they played Matt and Riley.
Bronze that tournament. I think that was
That was so fun. Medal. I loved them as a team. But Travis was talking about it on his podcast, and he's just like, yeah, I was talking trash because I was coming out on hands battles, and then I didn't win a hands battle after that. Matt's kind of the king of trash talk. Yeah. I don't know. I like Matt.
It works for his game.
I think so too.
I used to hate the guy.
He's grown on me after ditching Riley. Honestly.
Yeah, as soon as he ditched Riley, I feel the same way. It's funny.
But
same.
I wouldn't want to play against him.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to play against him for the experiment, but just don't, for the experience, just don't record it. Because he's good. He's old, but he's good.
That's what's crazy. He's just so good.
So, rally scoring. I feel like you're going to slowly come my way on rally scoring, but we'll see how that goes.
If it's to 7, I'm in. If it's to 21, I'm asleep.
Yeah. If anyone has any better ideas with rally scoring, let us know. Not a fan of the shot clock. If you are, tell us how that works and why you think, the shot clock would work. But, in both of our opinion,
it'll turn it into tennis.
No.
It'll turn it into padel. It'll turn it into a different sport, like how you're saying.
Oh, and you know what I heard the other day? I've been saying padel. People have been getting mad. They are saying paddle.
Who's saying
just
paddle?
Call it paddle.
Okay, well, pro padel player, like number 1 in the U.S., Patrick Kopka. Have you guys seen him? But he plays on the PPA. He calls it padel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
And
you've played with him,
and he's better than anybody that's watching this and anybody that's
interesting.
So
yeah, I just heard it the other day.
He says padel.
Huh?
Maybe that's wrong, and my memory is serving me incorrectly, but.
We will say whatever we want.
Yeah. No, he definitely says padel. I actually listened to a podcast of him.
Okay.
It's in there. It's in my brain. You know what's
maybe
weird?
It is.
The brain.
Padel sounds better to me.
Padel makes sense because it came from different countries, but
not
paddle.
Because that's similar to paddleball, which is actually, I don't know if it's a sport, but it's a game.
What I was going to say is the brain is crazy that like just the other night, I can't remember what I had to remember. Someone's name is what it was. My brain had it in there, but I couldn't remember what it was. And then 10 minutes later, all of a sudden it comes to you.
Yeah.
It's like, where was it? It was in there the whole time. Yeah. Anyways, the way that this relates to pickleball is
no, that happens to me a lot.
There's no relation, but I don't know. The brain's an amazing thing. It just tells you how much of it we're actually using.
Yeah.
How it can just dig that up all of a sudden. Oh, yeah, that's the name. It's like it's always been in there. It's weird. Anyways, we beat that dead horse again.
That's another insight. If you know, you know. If you watched a previous pod, what did you?
I don't remember what the wrong was.
You said the wrong thing, but that you said it correct. Beating a dead horse. So shoot us a comment if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on or listening on Spotify. And if you're listening on Apple, shoot us a comment. Let me know if you're with Spencer. That means you're for rally scoring, 100%. I didn't used to be, but now I'm on that train. And say I'm with Austin if you're against it. Let us know why, and also let us know if you have any additional ideas as how the game can be watched more and played more, because ultimate goal is to grow pickleball.
Yep.
So
100%.
Anyway, that's it for this week's pod. Later, Pickleheads.
Peace.
Picklehead Podcast.